So obviously there is a whole lot more to Arctic than just running around in the Solace sewers and climbing Palanthas trees. And if you've been logging in and playing and following along with the video series, hopefully you've gotten at least level 5 or higher, but you might have noticed that you're not getting quite as much experience points as you were getting for killing slimy earthworms and small black spiders. So you're probably getting to that point where you need to start looking for a new area to adventure in. And that's what I want to talk about today. I'm gonna show you how to see some of the other areas that are available for you to go and explore. And then we're also gonna take a walk up to Palanthas so that way you know how to get to at least one other major town in Arctic. So we'll walk from Solace up to Palanthas, and then I'll show you the inn so that way you can actually rent. I'm not going to show you all the vendors and stuff just because I want you to actually explore the town a little bit and kind of figure that out for yourself, but I'll at least show you how to get there. So I am logged on right now as Prothal. Looks like we're level 5, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and the command that you want to use is just called help area. And you're going to see how truly huge Arctic is here in just a second. There's literally hundreds of locations and zones that you can explore. But first off, before we scroll through that list, let's just look at what these two indicators mean. So if you see a plus sign, that indicates that it's a town, probably a location where you can rent at. And then if you see an asterisk, that means that it's temporarily offline or in maintenance mode. Now, when we go through the list here, you're going to see that on the left-hand side is the name of the zone or town, and then on the right-hand side is the level that you should be in order to explore it. You should see anything from all to up to high elite is the highest, so it kind of goes all, low, mid, high, and then high elite. And if you're the breakdown is low is kind of like level 1 through 10. Mid is 11 through 20, then high is going to be 21 through 30, with elite meaning that you definitely should be there with a group. So let's go ahead and just real quick take a look at this list, because it is, like I said, it is a very long list of zones. I think there's probably like, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 right there. So roughly 20 in each one of these sections here. I didn't count the sections, but there is as I scroll through here, just a bunch of them. So there's Solace right there. There is Slaith Swamp, which I mentioned in the what video was that? The spin room video. So we'll take a look at that one once I get through the list here. So when you get down to the bottom, you can see that to kind of shorten up that list or to find ones that kind of pertain to you as a newer player, you're gonna type in help area low. You can also do mid, high, elite by creator or area specific. So let's just go ahead and do a real quick help area low, because that's the level range that we're currently in. You can see here that it is recommended for adventurers between level 1 and 10. And just that list there, let's see, there's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, so at least 60 or more zones that are designed for lower level players. And then let's just go ahead and take a real quick look at one of the specific zones that I mentioned earlier. So let's look at help area Slaith Swamp. So information to look at here. Definitely read the background, because it's going to give you just a little bit of lore on the area, as well as give you hints that might help you find the location, because you're going to see here when I scroll down to location, it doesn't tell you go like 11 north, 3 west, up, down, south, and you're there. It just gives you a general area. So it says the swamp lies to the east of Solace. Okay, great. There's a whole bunch of zones east of Solace, and not many of them are for low-level low-level characters. I think it's pretty much like the Beehive, which is a little bit east and north of Solace, and I wouldn't go much further than that until you get a few levels under your belt. But it's going to tell you what the recommended level here, so you can see that 15 plus is recommended. Location, again, that's eastish. So you gotta try to like figure out where towns are, and then hopefully once you can travel between towns, you'll kind of learn like the names of locations in areas in between towns, and that's going to make this location section a little more useful to you. But since we're talking about going up to Palanthas, I think we can probably start off on that journey. Let's real quick do a help area Palanthas and just see where that is roughly located. So it says here that the city home of Palanthas is located in the northwest. Okay, that kind of gives you a little more information here. It's past the High Claris Tower. So we're going to be looking for that. It mentions nestled between the arms of Vingard Mountains. So we're going to be looking for stuff that mentions Vingard, High Claris Tower, and then obviously Palanthas is where we're ultimately hoping to end up. So with that little piece of information, let's go ahead and make sure we're ready to head out on the road, and we'll see if we can make our way to Palanthas. So first off, let's check and make sure we're flying, which we are. Otherwise, we would have to pick up a horse and take the ferry, which costs coins and can take a little bit of time, but I'll at least show you where that is in case you want to, if you don't have enough coins and you want to try to head up there anyways. I also have, so we got some putrid potions so we can get some vitality back, a potion of flight, and then all the necessities like recall scrolls, food, water, and lantern. So yeah, we should be pretty well prepared to make it to Palanthas. So I'm going to go ahead and start from Solace Square just because it's a good starting location. And let's go ahead and see where we end up. So basically, just kind of head, and I'm going to go a little bit quick here. So if you want to figure out how to or get these directions yourself, you just have to kind of jot them down. I wouldn't actually recommend copying them down word for word or letter for letter, I guess. What I would try doing first is just see if you can make it there after you watch this video and just kind of like see what happens. Just you'll have a general idea of how to get there. See if you can make it there by just kind of going off of memory and then trying to follow what the signs are saying. And I'll show you some of the signs as we pass them here. So that way you kind of know what you're looking for, and then we'll also stop at a couple of recuperation rooms. That way if you run out of vitality on the way, you can stop and get some of your vitality or V back, which is this number right here. So this is our first sign. If we type look sign, that's going to give us information about the ferry. So you can get a horse, hop on the ferry, or you don't even need a horse, but it's going to be an even longer walk without one. But it looks like it costs 10 coins to board the ferry, and you have to wait for it. So it's not currently here, otherwise we could actually board it. And then it takes a little bit of time to actually cross the sea. So experiment with that if you want to, but we're just going to go ahead and keep on flying north. So actually there we just passed the ferry right there. Let's go ahead and keep going north, and we should see another sign here shortly. There we go. So if I type look sign, so that is telling us that we already know Solace is to the south because that's where we came from. But here it is mentioning Kergoth and Vingard to the west. So that is, we're on the right track. Let's go ahead and start heading west. Now you're going to see here, there should be a south exit. Yep, and it is closed right now. So once you near the lighthouse, this is, to the south of us is a recoup room, which we've covered in another video. But let's just go ahead and hop in there real quick. Or pop in real quick. And we'll just go ahead and do a rest. And when you rest and you get it gives you some sort of information other than you just sit down and rest your tired bones, go ahead and just type score and see if you're affected by recuperate, because that's going to mean that when it does tick here, we're going to get back extra vitality for being in this room. We aren't going to spend much time here, or we aren't going to sit here because I don't actually need any vitality right now. So I just wanted to point that out though. So we'll stand back up, head north, and start cruising along again. And I should probably, instead of spam directions, just type in the exact direction. That way I don't lead you astray. So I'll go a little bit slower here. Usually I just spam directions because I know the general location that I need to head. We'll go past that one. Actually, let's go south. Let's look at this sign here real quick. Okay, that is a good sign. So make sure that you cross that direction off your list. So you can see here this is saying that Vingard City is north, and then also right there, that's what we're looking for, Lord City of Palanthas. Kergoth is to the, looks like west, and then Portugal and Solace are to the south. So still heading in the right direction. And you're going to see all these little offshoots, like I can go east right here. If you see on a sign that it says that the main direction is north, for us traveling to Palanthas, use that as like your main direction when you come to like a crossroads like that. That's a good rule of thumb. That'll hopefully won't lead you astray. All right, so can't go anywhere there. Let's go ahead and go west. Again, this is we can go west again, but let's keep heading north since we know that that is where Palanthas is located. And you can see here there was mention right there of Vingard, and we saw that when we did the help area Palanthas. So the toll house, this is a good location to know, and for a few different reasons. First off, if you rest and type score, you can see that it is a recuperate room, so that's a bonus. But again, we don't need vitality. But let's stand up and look at this sign here. So this sign tells us that Vingard is actually directly north. If we go just a few north, we're going to be in Vingard. To the east is Kalaman, to the south is Solace, and then to the west is Palanthas. So this is a nice meeting location because it's kind of a central location to these 4 major cities right here. So a lot of times if you are looking for a group or somebody shouts that they're looking for a group and you say, hey, I'm available, let's group up and do something, they might tell you to either meet them at a major city or meet them at the toll house. And that's because it's again that nice centralized location. So now you know how to get to the toll house, and shortly here you're going to know how to get to Palanthas. So hopefully that'll increase your chances of being able to get yourself in a group with somebody else. So let's go ahead and keep on keeping on. It just got dark. Hopefully I have a lantern. I said I had one. Let's see if I actually have one. And it does have oil bonus. All right, so we can see again. So this sign right here, this isn't a, let's look at this sign real quick. So this is actually a stronghold sign, and this is for a clan. I'm not going to go too much into this, but if you see a sign like this, that means it is again a stronghold. So their stronghold is to the south, and basically what that is it's kind of their, think of it as their town. So they rent there, they recall to that location. You can build up your stronghold. So we're not going to cover that too much, but if you see a sign like that, that's what that is. And once it wipes here on the 1st of January, none of the clans' names should be on these anymore. They're going to be available to purchase. So I guess what the clans will do is they'll probably rush and try to get up enough funds so they can get the specific location near the town that they want. So there's kind of I guess a little bit of a mad rush to get the best locations. Let's go ahead and keep moving though. So we're going to head north since the clan or the stronghold was to the south there. And it's nice that there's not too many offshoots from the main path here. Now, this spot right here, so you remember from earlier, it mentioned the High Clarist Tower, and we are just outside that location right now. Be careful when you're close to this area, because if we try to type north right here, you can see that it says the portcullis is closed, and if I try to open that, it is locked, and for a very good reason, because that is a super high zone. And what can happen sometimes, it's happened to me numerous times, most times I live through it, at least when I'm higher level. But if you're spamming directions and you hit north right here and this door is open, so like if a high level group came here, killed these guards, went north and left that portcullis open, a couple north there is a trap, and I think it's hot oil gets poured on you, which does damage to you. And then if you keep going, you panic and you keep going north past that and actually walk into the meat of the zone. Those mobs in there hit like Mack trucks. They're probably going to kill you if you're lower level. So just be careful. Don't spam too many directions. Just kind of like pay attention to where you're at is what I'm getting at. So let's go ahead and safely maneuver around the High Clarist Tower. I'm spamming directions again. See, I do it all the time. But now we should be very close to Palanthas. And my fly actually ran out. I saw that and then I didn't react to it. Even though I have a creamy potion of flight. So let's go ahead and use that potion. And then I cheated. I also have some putrid potions on me. I actually picked those up in the end. If you see those, pick those up because they are vitality potions and you can't rent these specific ones. So go ahead and use that, and we just went from 4 vitality up to 109. I should have showed you in Vingard where to purchase those. Maybe that'll be another good video. Let's go ahead and keep moving though. So you can see here we are now on the Palanthas Highway, and once you hit the end of Barclay Road, that's where you want to be. That is a road that is in Palanthas. Now I'm not gonna show you many locations in Palanthas. I was just gonna show you the inn so that way you can rent here. I want you to actually explore Palanthas and find out where the vendors and stuff and guildmasters are yourself. or look at the online map. But I am going to show you one lower level zone in case you want to maybe roll a character here or just kind of explore it, because it leads into a little bit of a little bit higher level zone if you can figure out the keywords for it. So if we go west and then head north, like sometimes this gate will be closed. So if you see that right there, let's go ahead and open that up. And then if we head north and then west, we're gonna give a shout out to Tommy since Tommy just shouted P-wipe OMG, and I'll go ahead and tell to him real quick too, so he knows he's gonna make the video again. There we go. That'll hopefully make his day, and hopefully he won't kill us now. It is we're a couple days out from wipe. So apparently he hasn't seen the video. Let's go ahead and let me finish this here. So anyways, once you get to this gate, if we open this gate right here, go west. So this is the Palanthas Cemetery, and there is another zone within this zone that you have to use a keyword to get into. So I'll let you try to explore this, but these are kind of lower level mobs that you can kill here. So you can either start a new character here or explore this with your existing character. Let's go ahead though and get ourselves to the inn. So I think it's like 8 west from Barclay Road. Let's just keep going west until we see the southern gates of Palanthas here. There we are. And then from here, let's just go ahead and go north until we hit the Central Plaza. And the Central Plaza is the Solace Square of Palanthas. So once you hit this spot, you can see that there is a fountain there, so we can fill up our water skins. And from this location, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 south, west, south, up. And just like that, we have made it to Palanthas. If I go ahead and type offer, you can see that we can rent here. And there's, I mentioned you can't rent those putrid potions, so let's go ahead and drop those. No sense in keeping that on us. And then once you make it here, if you rent, that's going to obviously set your rent location to Palanthas. So then when you log off and log back in, you're going to be in Palanthas instead of Solace. Now, if you were with a group, let's just say, for example, you traveled here to be with a group, and you decide that you want to rent here, but you don't want to break up your group, there is a command called reserve. And when you type that in, it reserves you a room in this town. So basically what I've done is, oh, there's somebody that knows me. I have set my rent location now to Palanthas without actually logging off the game. So it's a nice feature, because if I was with a group and I wanted to rent here, but like I said, I don't want to break up the group, I can just type in that to reserve myself a room. So hopefully that all makes sense. If you have any questions, obviously you know where to drop them. Otherwise, I think we'll end it here, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.